Hello and welcome back, everybody, to the Formula One Championship. We are here on round 8. It is the season finale, and oh boy, do we have a battle going on here. I'm joined here by Newt. Thank you for coming in today. And let me see where this battle is. So we've got Tom Roberts leading the championship, but electing to not partake today. Ben Mills, 8 points behind. And basically, if Ben Mills finishes the race, he's won it. So, yeah, more or less, will he finish the race? That's all we need to know. I think there's a few other bits going on here and there as well, but we'll get into that a bit later, I think. But yeah, we're here today at Interlagos, and can't think of a better place to finish a season. What do you think, Newt?
Yeah, Brazil's always a good place to end. It's so unpredictable with the weather, and the racing is always good around here. Although we only have 9 people racing, it should still be a good fight at the front between Josh, Ben, and Alex. And yeah, it's going to be fun to watch, I hope, and hopefully not too boring.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are starting to load into the qualifying now. It says short qualifying. I'm hoping that just means it's a short qualifying and not the sprint one, because I do not want another sprint today. We had one last week, but we are just about loaded up into the lobby. I say that I have no control of anything. There we go, finally. And yeah, we'll have to wait for anybody to come out for a sec. As you know, the usual. How long does it take you to get your setup done, Lee?
I think most people usually have their setups already made, but you want to change a few settings based on the conditions. Obviously, if it's raining, you're going to have to make a lot of changes. But in terms of the setup for Brazil, I think they're going to be running quite high wings, probably around 30 to 40 on the front wing, and then around 20 to 30 on the rear wing. And I think that Josh is planning on running a fancy setup that he gets from his racing team, so he's probably going to be the person to watch out for.
Oh, here we go. We've got Reese Hands out first in qualifying here, and followed not too far behind by, I can't figure out who it is, Yusuf. Have we seen Yusuf before? I don't remember the name. Is this a new person?
No, he raced in the last few seasons, but he hasn't raced much this season. I think he's not had the time to, but sometimes he goes by Stickman as well, which is why
Okay.
It may not be recognizable.
Well, this is quite a short lap here at Interlagos. What kind of times do you think we'll be looking for today?
I think pole will probably be a high 106. I'd expect maybe a 106.8 or a 106.9, but I think most people are going to be in the 7s.
Right, and would you like to give a walk through our first lap here?
Yeah, so for turn 1, you want to try to avoid the grass braking on the right-hand side, and you want to keep it as tight to the curbs as possible to get the shortest line through the center S's. Coming up to turn 4, you want to try to brake as far right as possible without touching the grass. It's very easy to invalidate on the outside, but Reese has managed to avoid it. These upcoming corners are probably flat out, maybe a tiny lift. Braking into turn 8, it's a heavy braking zone. You want to keep it as tight to the curves as possible. Another heavy braking zone into turn 10. Then it's flat out round turn 11, but don't want to touch the inside curb because it can unsettle the car. And then another hard braking zone with grass on the right-hand side, but he's managed to avoid it. And then these final few corners are basically all flat out. It's just one long straight, but with a few tiny kinks. You want to keep it as far to the left-hand side as possible. And it is a 108.5 for the first lap.
So, you said somewhere around the 6s, right? So, Still a bit of time to be found there, but not too bad for a first lap. I think Yusuf is across the line next. Let's see how they perform here. So that's 109.3, a little bit slower than Reese Hounds there. And I do not know who I was up next. Is it probably Ben Mills? Yes. So Ben Mills, this is the man to look out for today. He has the opportunity to win the championship just by finishing the race. So let's see what kind of time he can set. A 107.5. So that puts him on provisional pole position, cleared by about a second. And I think the only people that can upset this would be Josh or Geek.
I think Alex has been very quick as well. He's also in championship contention if he wins the race. But
oh, and
as we
Josh,
say
that's a
about
faster time.
Josh immediately goes into provisional pole.
So Ben Mills will have to do a little bit more work here. He's got 13 minutes, so I'm sure he can pull out a time out of somewhere. And the Geek still halfway through their outlap, so we'll have to wait and see what they do. Edie coming to the end of their lap here as well. Is this a track where you want to just pit right away after your first lap, or is this something you can do multiple times on the same set of tires?
Tyre degradation is really high around Brazil, so I don't expect people to be going for double runs. The soft tyres just degrade way too quickly to do a second lap. There's basically no chance of improving unless you've made a massive mistake on your first lap.
Yeah, and that seems to be the case, and Ben Mills already in the pits. And interestingly, Reese Hans is staying out, going to do a cooldown lap here and then probably continue again.
It looks like Alex has backed out of his first lap as well, a 129, and he's just finished his first lap and done a 108.4. That's definitely not as fast as he would have been hoping for, but it's still P3 right now.
Absolutely, and Geek halfway through the lap. Getting that car to rotate. That's the place that Checo spun out last year, isn't it? Ah. A lot of funny moments last year in the real Formula 1. As you mentioned, keeping on the right and not touching the grass. It's a shame Lance Stroll can't do that.
Yeah, he likes driving into the gravel as well, but I don't think they have the gravel traps on this game, so no one in the BUSR can recreate what he did.
And Geek gets himself a provisional third place, 108.0. Pretty decent time, but still a lot of time he had to get onto pole there. We'll have to see what Geek can do by the end of the qualifying session. There's still 11 minutes to go, and Ben Mills out on his second lap now. Well, on his outlap, and most of the others are pitting. Reese Hans, I think this is the actual lap now, and it is an improvement by 1/1000th of a second. So, yeah, maybe the tires have just gone too far now. Probably definitely looking to pit here this lap and getting a fresh pair of softs on.
Yeah, I believe the soft tyres at this track is the C5s, so very soft tyres compared to other tracks, so it's very difficult to actually do multiple laps on them. Even on other tracks, it's virtually impossible. So, yeah, I don't expect much improvement on the second laps on the same tyre.
Ben has just started his second lap. Let's have a look on board, see how he drives this. So using a lot of battery there, DRS wide open. Throwing the car into the corner. Downshift into 6th, keeping the revs up. That's a car in the grass. Yeah, I only remember doing this track in the Formula 2s a year or so ago whenever I participated in the championship there. It was like a spring championship. This track was not very easy to do in the Formula 2s. Would you say it's similar in the F1 cars? Or is it like quite easy?
Well, I've driven both of them at Brazil, and the problem with the Formula 2 cars is that it's very difficult to actually keep the revs up. So you end up basically stalling the car at low speed if you don't carry enough speed through. So I think the F2 cars are much more difficult to drive here.
Yeah, and Ben Mills showing how he can perform around this track with a 107. Well, yeah, 17.1. And like he's invalidated this lap, but he's on a cooldown lap anyway, so it doesn't matter. What have your thoughts been on the F125 game? Because we've done 2 seasons on F123. 2 years, I mean, not 2 seasons. So, do you prefer it to F123, or do you think that F123 was better?
Well, I'm faster on F125, so I kind of have to say that this one's better. The handling definitely feels very different. I think it takes a lot different techniques than on F123. F123 was very braking oriented. You had to have very tight control over the brakes. But then on this game, it's all about the steering, basically. You need to be able to flick the car and basically be on a knife's edge the entire time. Because if you flick the car too hard, the car just goes straight on and you don't have any grip. But then if you're not flicking it hard enough, you're not going to make it around the corner. So it's a very difficult technique to get, but I think very rewarding if you can master it.
Sounds a lot like karting to me.
Yeah, and especially around a track like this, there's going to be a lot of flicking around the middle sector, so that's definitely something to watch out for with the top drivers.
Yes, as we were speaking there, Wooly set the first 106 time, just barely making it into the sixes. But I think Ben is going to have a little bit of a challenge today, but he only needs to finish the race to win the championship, so I think he'll be just trying to have a safe race today and perhaps not fighting for the win necessarily, as he retires, seemingly happy enough with his lap.
Yeah, from what I've heard, he's just going to be playing it as safe as possible because he needs a top 9 finish to win the championship, and obviously there's only 9 people driving, so he doesn't need to take any risks. He doesn't need to win the race, and yeah, everyone around him is probably going to be fighting as hard as possible because, at least for Alex and Josh, both of them need to win the race to gain any positions in the championship.
Yeah, absolutely. And what was it I heard? If Ben is out of the race, then the next person would need to win the race with the fastest lap. So that's going to be a real challenge to do. So if there's no safety cars, then guessing that fastest lap in might be pretty tricky. Geek sets a slight improvement there, but not enough to improve in position. There's Alex about to cross the line as well. Looks like it was a cooldown lap. Going again here though. What was that, an Aston Martin in the gravel there?
Yeah, I think SK has spun at turn 1. It's a very easy thing to do. The curbs here are quite difficult to get a handle on. If you hit them at the wrong angle, they will just suck you in and spin the car. So turn 1 is one of those curbs, so I'm not surprised that someone has spun off there.
Yeah, it looked like there was a little bit of understeer for Alex through one of those corners there, but the car came out of the corner just fine. I think that's the flicking that you're talking about, we can see setting a really good Sector 2 there may be an improvement into pole. As he goes into the pits.
I believe this game does have a bug which tells you that you have the purple Sector 2 when you actually don't, so I don't think he was actually on for an improvement there. But
okay.
I've been told many times that I have the purple Sector 2 when I definitely don't.
Well, that's a shame. But yes, most drivers are currently in the pits, waiting for the final moments to do their final laps, as Josh is on his outlap now, followed by one of the Sours, followed by Buckets. Like he'll be letting Buckets go by there. I don't think he's looking to catch a slipstream. He's too far back for that, surely.
No, I think he might be going for a second cooldown lap.
Interesting. Why would you do 2 outlaps?
I think he wants to leave his lap as late in the session as possible. That's usually when it's at its grippiest, and as long as you're driving slowly, it's not going to wear the tyres any more than if you just come out the pits on the last lap. So I suspect that he's just trying to leave it as late as possible, and maybe burning off fuel as well.
Big moment for Buckets Gaming there. Massive slide through turn whatever. I definitely know the numbers. And was looking at a slight improvement through Sector 1, however. Let's see how Sector 2 turns out, but unlikely to be an improvement now. Still possible to improve on this lap, but not enough to inherit E8. And that was not even an improvement. So, Buckets Gaming has time to possibly do one more lap. I don't know what happened there.
I think the game resets you to the track if you drive too far into the runoff at turn 1.
Really? That's a shame. I love coming across the finish line and just breaking the car into turn 1 or something. SK retires from the session, as they are still out on track. No safety cars in qualifying though, right?
No, of course not. And no red flags either, fortunately.
Well, Josh Woolley, I think this is his actual lap now. Seems to be driving quickly enough. And who is this? Yeah, it's Buckets coming into the pits, so Josh Woolley will be the first to come across the finish line and finish their qualifying session. That was a purple Sector 2, but we'll have to see if that was real or not. But the way he's been performing today, it's entirely possible, and that is an improvement. cementing his, or trying to cement his pole position here. We've still got a few people to come across the finish line, though. Next up, who do we have? We have Geek come across the finish line. Is an improvement, but not enough there to go up into P3. Yusuf improves their time, but does not improve their position. What about Alex here? Big improvement on the time, but once again, not enough to improve the position. Real shame there. And that finishes the qualifying session. So, I've got Josh Woolley on pole, followed by Ben Mills in P2. And, yeah, how do you think this race will pan out? Like, there's not that many people on the grid. So, I wouldn't expect any safety cars. I don't think there'll be many incidents. And yeah, as we mentioned, Ben is probably just going to be driving it as safe as possible. He just needs to finish the race. So that will leave opportunity for Josh and Alex to fight out for the win.
Yeah, I think Josh definitely has the advantage here. He obviously in qualifying over 3 tenths on pole, so he is definitely showing very good pace, and I have no doubt that the race pace is going to match that as well. So I think the top 3 are going to maybe stay together for a lot of the race, but they're going to gap the rest of the grid quite quickly, I'd imagine.
Yeah, quite possibly. This is a very short lap, just over a minute in length. Do you know how many kilometers it is?
It's quite a short one. It's probably around 3 to 4 kilometers. So
that's quite short for a Grand Prix circuit. But yeah, it looks like we are now ready. Got 4 or 5 lights on. Long wait, but away they go into the final race of the season. Josh has a great start there, taking the first corner. Ben playing it safely, it looks like, and I can definitely press the right buttons. Got Geek going up to P3 off the start. Ali losing out a lot of positions there, down to P5. Won't be happy about that kind of start.
It looks like Edie has started on the mediums, which is probably why he's got a much better start than Ali. Everyone else is on the hards, so he's definitely going to be looking to make up positions on these opening laps.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting up into P2 would be fantastic for Edie, and then having an early-ish pit stop, probably around lap 10, if I was to imagine. Oh, but a bit of a slide there. Still not feeling very comfortable in that car, are they? And this pretty much ends the first lap. It's a short lap. We're here for 36 laps, and yeah, there we go. A few position changes. Got Edie making up the most, Ali losing the most, and everyone else more or less where they were. And let's see if there's any battles going on. Doesn't look like it. Alex may be on Edie with DRS. They both have DRS. Who's late on the brakes? Side by side through turn 4. But Edie comes out ahead.
Yeah, he's still going to have the advantage of the softer tyres, so I think Alex might have to wait a few laps before he can get past Edie when the mediums start to drop off.
Yeah, and I'm sure the hards are still warming up, or would they have warmed up by now?
I think the hards are, because we don't run the formation lap, the hards are usually up to temperature right at the start. But they're usually a tiny bit lower than where you'd want them to be optimally. But after the first lap, I'd imagine they're up to temperature.
And Josh setting another fastest lap of the race. No one else beating that yet. Ali still all over Edie there. Will he try another move down to turn 4 this lap? Absolutely. Edie no longer has DRS there, and that's an easy overtake. Reese hands now. Not too far back from Edie. Yusuf also in tow there. So there's a little bit of DRS train going on here from Alex down to Yusuf.
Yeah, dirty air isn't too bad around Brazil, so it's quite easy to stick with people, especially with how long the DRS straight is. So I'd imagine that these DRS trains are going to stay for quite a while. And Alex sets the fastest lap. He's definitely going to need that if he wants any hope of winning the championship today.
Absolutely, but he'll need to set more fastest laps from here on. It's just going to get quicker and quicker as the cars lose their fuel.
Plus, there's always the possibility of people pitting with a few laps to go onto the soft tyres to intentionally set the fastest lap.
Absolutely, yeah. And if there's a safety car towards the end, that just throws everything out. Everybody on softs, it could be anyone's.
And it looks like the front two have started to gap the rest of the grid here, already over a second between P2 and P3.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Ben is fighting here for the position. Let's see if he opens his DRS. Yeah, he does. So he obviously still wants to get the overtake done, but he's not going to be doing anything too risky. He probably wouldn't be diving down the inside, so he wants it to be a nice, clean overtake. Loads of room. But Josh is just very quick today.
Yeah, and it's also going to be how much ERS battery they're using down that straight. I believe if you're within 0.6, then it's possible to make an overtake if you go on the overtake on the ERS, but even when Ben was within 0.6 there, he wasn't able to make a move into turn one.
Yeah, and they seem to be pretty similar on ERS levels, so yeah, they're both using energy. Josh obviously doesn't to be overtaken here, but Ben is trying, and as Alex on Reese here, probably able to make a move down to turn one if he can keep up through these last few corners. And with the DRS open, it's as easy as that. Ben, it looked like he backed off a little there onto the main straight.
He may be intentionally staying behind because it's a lot easier to manage your fuel, your ERS, and your tires when you're following someone, because you can just use the DRS to make up that extra pace that you're dropping off to save them. So he might be just intentionally trying to stay behind and get dragged as far as possible by Josh. And they already have a 2.5 second gap to Geek.
That would be an absolute masterclass if that is what he is doing. And yes, the gap there is quite big. Geek, it's not his day today, I don't think. He didn't get the qualifying position he wanted. I'm sure he would have wanted to be on pole, of course. So there's a lot to aspire to, I think. But yeah, Ben staying behind Josh here, keeping the pressure on. So Josh could just make a mistake and come off the track. Easy win for Ben.
Yeah, Josh needs to win this race if he wants to take fourth in the championship, so he is obviously under a lot more pressure than Ben is right now.
This is the closest battle we have, so we'll just stick with them for now. Yeah, very solid driving. Whenabouts would you say that they pit for fresh tires?
Well, I expect them to do a 2-stop here because the tyre degradation is too bad. So I believe the hards can go 14 laps before getting into the puncture range. So it'll probably be around that stage where they start to pit.
That is some pretty horrendous degradation.
Yeah, I believe the tyre wear is about 5% per lap on the hard tyres. So
Oof.
when you get to the 80% range, that's when punctures are able to happen. So you don't want to stay out on the tyres past that point.
Hopefully next year Pirelli makes some good tyres again.
Well, with the new regulation changes, nobody knows how the racing's going to be next year, so...
That's also true. Are you looking forward to the new regulations?
Yeah, I think so. It's going to be very different with all of the active aero and the new engines, but it's going to be exciting to see which teams can maybe take advantage of it and jump up the order a bit.
I do kind of want Cadillac to perform well.
I don't expect them to be a top team right out the gate, but I think that they might have a chance of being like top of the midfield. They're going to be taking the Ferrari engine, I believe, so that should be a pretty good one.
I believe Red Bull have developed their own engine. Is that for this upcoming year, or is it for the year after?
I believe it's for 2026. They've made a partnership with Ford and are developing their own powertrain engine. But I suspect that Mercedes will be the one to beat. But when it comes to engine regulations, they always are.
Yeah, well, all I'm hoping for is that there's a good championship battle, unlike this year.
Well, at least this year we've got a battle between two teammates, unlike the last few years.
True. That is also true. I would say unlike the last, well, I was gonna say decade, but I think Rosberg was 2016, so since 2017.
Yeah, the teams that have been dominating have always had a clear number one and number two driver, but McLaren obviously doesn't have that.
I do hope Piastri wins, just because it'll be funny.
I am also supporting Piastri this year.
There's also a statistic that whoever won the first 4 out of 6 or 7 races or whatever throughout history goes on to win the championship or something. Or just out of the world champions. I don't know. There was some kind of statistic, and the only time it was broken was Niki Lauda in '86. So Piastri managed to do that this year, therefore he is the world champion. We may as well just stop racing now. Stop the clock. It's done.
Yeah, he's been leading the championship for quite a while, so I expect that he'll continue to lead it up until the final race. But they'll probably be very close.
Yeah, Ben Mills starting to slide around a little bit. He's been sliding around for a few laps. I don't know if that's just driver error or if the tyres are just that bad.
I think at this point the tyres will have lost a lot of grip. They are... There's a very big drop-off with the hard tyres at Brazil, where you'll end up losing a tenth every lap.
Edie getting a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pits. That's a terrible way to have your first pit, or just any pit stop, to be honest. That's probably going to put them right at the back after all the pit stops have gone through.
I think he has a large enough gap to Buckets that he'll stay ahead of him, but it'll definitely keep him down in P8.
Will the leaders be pitting soon, or will they stay out for a few more laps?
Well, Ben may be looking to go for an undercut here. The undercut is very powerful, so I think it's worth around 4 seconds. So he might be looking to pit maybe lap 12 or 13.
Well, we'll see at the end of this lap then if it's 12 or 13 or later. But neither have pitted yet. Alex on the back of Reese. And yeah, ED had the mediums, and now on the hards. Everybody will be switching over to mediums. And they will absolutely nail the pit stop onto the hards, I think. And Alex losing it in the braking zone, I think. Gets re-overtaken by Reese.
I think some of the drivers may be looking to go onto another set of hards for the second stint, and then switching to the mediums for the final stint.
Oh, interesting. How long would you expect the mediums to last?
Probably around 8 to 10 laps. I don't expect them to go any further than that, especially since the hards would be so much quicker at that point.
Well, Ben is now going into the pits. What kind of tyres will he be putting on? That looks like the hards. So, yes, as you said, he is going to be doing a hard to medium stint then. Well, strategy. I can say words. I can say the right words, yes.
This should
And
be undercutting Josh, so...
Yes, he will be, and that is coming out in E5 as well. Loads of clean air ahead. So by the time everyone else has pitted ahead, he will be the race leader probably.
I believe I saw a news article saying that Mercedes' engine for next year is approaching 400 kilometers an hour in their simulations. So that's definitely going to be very interesting to watch.
That is ridiculous. 400 is... I'm assuming that would... Well, yeah, how would aero play into it? Like, what kind of track are they testing that on?
I have no idea where they're testing it, but I believe the front wing is going to have active aero that allows you to reduce the drag. So it's basically like DRS, but for the front wing as well.
Wow.
So that's probably going to contribute to it a lot.
Buckets Gaming getting a 3-second penalty for corner cutting.
Yeah, track limits around Brazil are always very easy to cut. It's really easy to just go slightly wide and pick up a few warnings.
And they lose it into the grass as they let Josh by. Will Josh be pitting this lap? He has to. No, he's staying out. I wonder if his strategy is hard, soft. He's trying to make the hards last as long as possible to get a few laps on the softs.
The softs are going to be very difficult to run. He's going to have to extend the hards a significant amount if he wants to do that.
If he can make
I have
the hards
seen
last 16
the
laps each.
Yeah, I think if he can do that, then it definitely will be a good strategy to go for. But it's also a question of whether he has any soft tires left from qualifying.
Yusuf also speeding in the pit lane. Catching a lot of people out, this is.
Yeah, it's a very difficult braking zone going into the pits here because of the chicane that it has there. It's very easy to lock up.
And Yusuf has switched onto the mediums. Okay, is Josh going to go to the pits this round? Yes.
I believe you only have 2 sets of hards if you specifically pick the harder tyre allocation, so some of the drivers may not have thought about that, so they're going to be forced into the hard, medium, medium strategy instead.
Oh, interesting. And Josh switching onto the mediums there. So, he'll be quicker than Ben, who is now ahead by quite a bit. And
And
then
Bucket's
Josh
also
will...
speeds into pit lane.
And Josh will hopefully have more speed in the last few laps, assuming he does pit back onto the hards, and Ben goes onto the mediums.
Yes, a 7-second gap is probably what I'd expect from a few laps undercut. And obviously he's going to have a lot more pace in these first few laps, but the mediums drop off quite significantly, so it's going to be difficult for him to catch him here.
Ben is now 2.5 seconds behind Alex, who is pitting. So Ben getting back into the race lead. Big lock up there for Alex entering the pits. And he's going on to another set of hards.
He's taken them quite a while, so that's obviously going to give him a tyre offset to the cars around him, but he is going to have to make these overtakes now to make that count.
Yeah, now there's no battles going on anymore.
Yeah, after the pit stops, everyone tends to spread out quite a bit. I expect Alex will catch Reese quite quickly here on the fresher hard tyres.
Yeah, how old are Reese's? They're only 1 lap old. But he is catching. And Josh setting a new fastest lap. 1:9.0. Similar to some of the times we've seen in qualifying.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be pushing quite a bit on those mediums to catch up to Ben. He's already caught up by 3 seconds, so he's definitely pushing a lot harder than Ben is.
Alex bringing the gap down to 1.3 seconds already. Seems like he's just better on the brakes. And what's this? Buckets on the softs? In the middle of the race?
I'm not quite sure what strategy he's going for here, but we'll see, I guess. He may have been trying to get rid of his 10-second penalty.
Potentially, yeah.
And Alex has already caught up to Reese and is now DRS, so I imagine he'll be overtaking him on the next lap.
It's a shame that the only overtaking zones on this are it's turn 1 and turn 4.
Yeah, because of the dirty air, it's very difficult to get close enough, and Alex cuts turn 8, I believe that is, and gets his first 3-second penalty, so that's not going to help his fight with Geek.
No, and it may seal the deal for him to not be in contention for the championship.
Yeah, at this point, it's going to be very difficult for him to win this race. So he might have to just stick where he is and get P3 in the championship, which is still a very good result for what is, I think, his first season. So
I believe it is his first season. But yeah, that nice clean overtake there on Reese, and he's just pushing ahead now. Going to try catch Geek. In the meanwhile, Josh is 2.3 seconds back from Ben. So he's slowly bringing that gap down. It started as about 7 seconds, and it's down to 2, well, yeah, about 2 seconds now. And the mediums will be falling off quite hard in the next couple of laps.
yeah, it's definitely going to be very difficult for him to make an overtake, especially when he gets into the dirty air of Ben. He's going to lose a lot of grip. And by the time he gets there, the mediums might have lost the advantage that they have, so it's going to be difficult for him.
The Ben's hards, they are also starting to degrade a little bit. They only have a few more laps of juice in them.
I imagine he's probably looking to pit off of those in the next 5 laps or so he can get onto a set of mediums, which will give him a tyre advantage to Josh, assuming that he's going onto another set of hards and not another set of softs. But I think that's buckets getting out of the way again.
But Josh's hards would then last a lot longer. So if they were to pit around the same time, which at the moment is very likely, then Josh has the advantage.
I think the mediums will give Ben an advantage at the beginning of the third stint, but then the longer the race goes on, the hards will obviously eventually cross over with the mediums and become a faster tyre. But right now, Josh is still catching, so you won't need to pit off of those mediums anytime soon.
And we're on lap 22 now, out of 36. There are 14 laps to go. Yes, I counted that right. So a set of hards would last from here on. However, you probably want to try get that down to about 10 laps to be able to push at the end. And Buckets Gaming. 5 laps on the softs. Those can't be feeling good now.
No, it looks like he's been sliding around quite a bit as well, so I imagine those rear tyres are definitely struggling.
It looks like they're playing on a controller, or even a keyboard. It's hard to say. I think it's a controller, but that would not make it easy to control the car, in my opinion. I've never been good on a controller, so...
I think controller is quite weak on this game compared to wheel, so he's going to be at quite a big disadvantage. And I believe Josh has just got a 3-second penalty for track limits.
Absolutely, he has. That is basically giving it to Ben. Free.
Yes, all Ben needs to do now is do what he did in the first stint and stick with Josh, and he should be fine.
Yeah, Josh could go for an undercut right now, or the next lap. And if Ben sticks out for a couple of laps, then he could make up the time. But it will be very close, and he'll then probably ruin his strategy.
It looks like the gap between them is staying quite stable right now. Maybe Josh is gaining by like a few tenths a lap, but it's definitely nowhere near as dramatic as it was before. So I think those mediums are going to be struggling quite a bit.
Yeah, the little lock up there, I think we just saw, not going to be helping him.
And the good thing about his position, though, is that he doesn't have to think about anyone behind him. He's got a good enough gap behind that Geek realistically can't undercut him. So he's going to be thinking completely about them.
I do often forget when we discuss battles, we don't talk about anyone else in the race, how they may interfere. Big lock up there into turn 1. Of course, that could just be the game bugging. We don't know.
Yeah, it looks like Josh has been locking up into turn 1 every lap, so I suspect that he isn't actually locking up most of the time.
But he hasn't pitted this lap, so he isn't going for another cut on Ben.
He may be going for another set of mediums.
Interesting. So if he can make it one more lap, then how old are his mediums now? Then yeah, he could totally finish the race on the mediums.
That does mean that both of them are going to be on the same tyre, though, so he's not going to have an advantage to get past Ben and then create that 3-second gap that he needs to win the race.
No, absolutely not. Unless Ben stays out for an extra lap. So if Ben doesn't pit next lap, then if I was Josh, I'd be pitting onto more mediums.
And I think Buckets has pitted onto a set of inters.
I think Buckets is out of tyres.
I don't believe it's raining, so I imagine that is the reason that he's on the inters.
At least it's not
I don't
the
expect
wets.
them to last very long, though.
I think you'll need to pit at least one more time.
He may have to go onto a set of wets if he runs out of the inters. And I believe he's 2 laps down now. Now that Ben and Josh
I believe so. So Josh, I think you need to pit like now.
He's no longer gaining on Ben, so I'd imagine he has to do something different to him here.
Ben is not pitting, and neither is Josh. Josh, what are you doing?
I'm not quite sure what strategy he's attempting here. I can't imagine those mediums are going to go to the end, so I think he is going to pit again. Maybe onto a set of softs, but I think that Ben would be the only person with a new set, because he retired from quali early.
Well, Buckets had a spare set of softs, so it's entirely possible they will have one extra set. Or he could have gone on to used softs. Yeah.
I think he might have, because the lap that he came out, I think it said that they were 2-lap-old softs, so I think they were used. But yeah, Josh is starting to lose time to Ben here, so he's going to have to make a decision.
Those cards that Ben is driving with are performing very well. Maybe... Okay, he's going to the pits now. Josh has to follow. Yes, he does. Josh braking so early. Doesn't want that additional time penalty. And it's starting to rain. Buckets is maybe a genius.
I think those inters might be a bit too hot.
Yeah, they're cooked.
To get any use out of them. But it looks like Ben and Josh have gone for mediums. I believe Ben has gone for... Ben's gone for mediums and Josh is on hards.
Interesting.
This is going to be very difficult for Josh to win this race.
Well, we can't see the weather forecast like the drivers can, so we don't know how much rain to expect. It could just be a few drops right now, and then
We
it doesn't actually
have
matter.
two other drivers pitting onto the inters, so clearly they think it's wet enough.
But
It
it's
doesn't
only
look
2
wet
laps on
enough.
the inters, so they could still be usable.
I think he's been sliding around quite a bit on those, so they're probably going to be overheating.
Doing a bit of rally style here.
Yeah, so now there's nearly a 3-second gap between them. So Josh has to close this gap and create a 3-second gap in front to win this race.
Oh, how did Josh not serve his time penalty?
I believe you can only serve 10-second penalties, not 3 seconds.
Huh. Well, then he will need to drive really quickly now.
It's going to be very difficult for him to gap Ben, though, because when you have two drivers on such equal pace, it's very easy to stick with the driver in front with the DRS. So it's going to be a very difficult win for him here if he wants to get it. But obviously the weather might play a factor as well, now that we know that it's raining.
Who has yet to pit a second time? Geek and Alex have yet to pit. They're currently leading the race. And surely they will pit this lap. No, they don't.
Maybe they're hoping for the rain to get a lot heavier so they can go straight onto the inters.
Potentially, or just for a safety car.
Alex is all over the back of Geek, so he may be going through and overtakes him. Geek seems to be struggling in these conditions with
SK touched grass.
Yeah, I do not think it is time for those inters yet. They are not looking like they are very quick.
And Ben has caught up to the front group here now. Got a little bit of traffic to go through. This is 4th position, so they don't have to get out of the way.
He is going to have much better grip, so I imagine he is going to get past them quite quickly, but this is going to be holding him up, and it's allowed Josh to get back into the DRS.
Lots of sliding there for Alex. Down the main straight. Surely Ben gets this. Under braking into turn 1.
He just has so much more grip on those new tyres. He can brake so much later, and Geek can't really do anything about it. And I imagine the same is going to happen here with Josh.
Josh makes the overtake long before the corner. Oh, was that some contact? Geek sliding onto the grass there.
I think Geek had to go a bit further to the right than he wanted to avoid contact with Josh there. Josh gave him a bit of a squeeze going into turn 4. That's definitely not going to help Geek's battle with Alex, who has already pitted, so he's going to be undercutting Geek as well here.
Oh, they're both starting to slide around now.
It does look like it's getting a bit wetter. So they're going to be struggling quite a bit.
Oh, this is a Colapinto moment about to happen, I swear. And they're... Okay, Ben going into the pits.
For intermediate.
Didn't speed, that's important. Let's see what he... Well, surely it's the Inters.
This is going to be interesting. If Josh stays out, he might be able to try to stick it out on the dries. It's looking very wet, though, so I
mean, it's what, an 18-second pit stop or so? Let's see the gap when Ben comes out.
It's fairly short at Brazil, so Ben is definitely going to be quicker here. And it looks like Alex is in the fight for P2 as well.
19-second the gap to Josh. If Josh can just survive for 4 laps here, then he can take the race win.
He does have to serve that 3-second penalty at the end as well. So
okay, so a little bit quicker than that then.
Ben has to be around 5 seconds a lap faster to catch him here.
And Edie, is that a second speeding in the pit lane penalty for them? I don't remember. I think it might be.
I think he has quite a few penalties. I've seen his track limit penalties come up a few times as well.
Oh, I don't think Josh can hold out long enough.
No, he is losing a lot of time to Alex here.
That was, what, 4 seconds on 1 lap here? So unless the rain stops, like, right now, then there's not a chance.
Ben is definitely the favourite to win this race right now, I think. It's unfortunate that Alex has that 3-second time penalty, otherwise he'd be in a very good position to win here. Because it doesn't look like Ben has the pace to overtake him in these conditions.
No, maybe the setup is too low on the wing.
They may have known that it was going to rain when they started qualifying, so some people might have elected to go for a more wet-centered setup. Because we aren't exactly sure when the rain is going to arrive in the race. We just know that it is going to rain at some point. Yeah, I think Josh has lost another 5 seconds here.
Yeah, and the rain does not seem to be easing up at all. So...
and yeah, he's behind some lap
traffic and there's
well.
a big tank slap there. Oof.
I believe this is Yusuf catching him as well. He's on the Inters, so.
Yes, it is. Buckets retires from session. Oh, and that's Josh in the wall.
Yeah, it definitely was not the best idea to stay out on those dry tires. He is
only losing his right front end plate. Surprised it wasn't more, but Josh has to pit now. Just cut your losses.
He's lost both of his end plates, so I think that front wing is definitely not in a good state.
Yeah, Josh just went from leading the race, having a chance to win the race, to probably not even gonna finish on the podium. Well, now Geek's overtaking him. He's definitely not finishing on the podium.
He took a risk to try to win the race, and unfortunately it didn't play out well for him.
He isn't Max Verstappen. He can't drive in the wet.
Unfortunately not. I think he does have a big enough gap behind to Reese to still come out in P4, but it's going to be quite close with the front wing change.
Yeah. No, he should definitely come out in P4 still. But there's just no opportunity for him to make it into the podium anymore. So it is Ben and Alex here fighting for the win. Alex needs to pull out a few stonking laps here to make up for the 3-second time penalty. Because at the moment, it's Ben's race.
I think Alex does not currently have the fastest lap either, so he doesn't have a chance at winning the championship here, unfortunately. Obviously, they're not going to be setting any fastest laps on those intermediates.
Yeah, I don't know. Is there a way to see who has the fastest lap? It's Josh with the fastest lap at the moment. And yeah, in the rain, no one's going to be saying a fastest lap.
So as long as Ben finishes this final lap, he is going to be the champion this season.
Well, it's a big congratulations to Ben. I mean, I think this is his first season in F1, right?
He raced last season as well.
Well, for a second season, it's pretty damn good.
Especially going up against drivers like Tom Roberts, who are extremely quick when he actually decides to race. So
Yeah, it's a shame that he didn't race today. It could have been a very interesting battle indeed. Here we are, around the last few corners, and it's going to be the end of the season. Down the main straight, it's going to be Alex to take the finish checkered line, but it's going to be Ben Mills to win the race, and Geek taking P3 there at the end. And that is a slightly broken car. Josh, unfortunate there in the last few laps. Makes it out in P4. Still has that 3-second time penalty. So does Reese, so he should be safe. And yeah, just unfortunate for him at the end there that the rain came out and didn't go away quickly enough. Takes P4. Reese next across the finish line, taking P5. Edie a little while back still. I think we're gonna have. Oh, and that's a spin for Edie. I think we're gonna have SK coming across the line first though. Taking P8 there. Probably a couple laps down if I was to imagine. And just got Edie to come across the line to finish this season. It was a solid race, I would say. We had a few battles, we had some weather, but in the end, it's Ben to take the race win, to take the championship. His first championship in Formula 1 here. Big congratulations to Ben.
he's been very consistent all season, so I'm not surprised that he is fighting for a championship going into the final race. And although I think it's his second win this season, he's shown up almost every weekend, I think, so he definitely deserves the championship. And I believe with this, Williams also win the Constructors' Championship as well. So.
Oh yes, there is a Constructors' Championship. I have no idea what the standings are. It doesn't really matter that much, but there we have it. I mean, all that's left to do then is to do a few interviews to see how everyone's feeling. Yeah. So I think we'll do top 3. And that should get us. Well, yeah, that should get us the 2 of the top 3 in championships as well. I believe Tom Roberts will be finishing P2. I don't know how the point system works, to be honest.
I think that Alex will be finishing P3. I think he needed to win the race to overtake Tom.
Right, well, while we wait, what are your thoughts on the race then?
I think it was a good battle for the lead. Obviously, the rain made it a bit more exciting at the end. Spiced up the strategy quite a bit. And it was nice seeing everyone on the different tyres at different times. And that's something that we've been missing at a lot of the other races because a lot of them have been just one stops, hard to mediums, and then it's been quite boring. So it's been quite a good race from that perspective.
Yeah, I agree. Um, I don't know how things will be panning out in the next season, but this summer season has been quite good to watch. I did miss out a couple of rounds, but from what I did watch here, it was very good. Some very good races, close battles, and yeah. Please, why does it take so long to do a debrief?
So I believe the top 5 in the championship will be Ben, then Tom, then Alex, then me, and then I believe Josh will be P5.
I do also believe that. Um, I don't have any interesting facts or anything else to talk about at the moment. Um, so yeah, let's just waiting here for drivers to come in. You know, I hate how many times I have to click escape to close the F1 game. Right, we've got some people in the room. Is Alpha Alex?
Yes.
Right. Finish P3. Forgot.
That would have been Geek.
Okay. So let's get Geek in here then. Hello, Geek, and congratulations on P3.
Hello, hello. How are we?
It's pretty good here. How was that race, Geek?
Chaos. If I'm honest, no, it's been a chaotic week for me in general, but no, it was good fun. Nice way to kind of round off the season. Just all different weather conditions, different strategies going into it as well. There was definitely some different strategies and setups as well. Yeah, no, it was just all fun across the board, really.
And would you say you were prepared for the changing weather and the strategies that followed that, or was it a little bit chaotic and no one really knew what they were doing?
I was not prepared whatsoever. The guys around me were definitely running higher wing. I just could not push in the middle sector whatsoever, and I probably should have pit a lap or two in advance for the rain. As you guys probably saw, I got undercut massively by Alex, and yeah, I just lost a huge chunk of time. The hards just on that wet surface when DRS got disabled. That penultimate corner going up the hill was actually treacherous, but no, I mean, I think I did the best job I could do reading the conditions. Yeah, not really too much else to say. Just it was tricky to know when to call it. I definitely think Ben and Josh called it too early, so I thought, yeah, I'll keep going until it's physically impossible. And yeah, I just left it a lap too late, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I don't know exactly which position you finish in. I think you finish in P6 in the championship.
Yeah, I want to say it's P6. I really wish it could be P5, but I think I'm tied with Josh on points. I think he wins it off countback,
Yeah.
which is no, he's driven well this season as well. Obviously he's had some unfortunate moments, but no, you know, it's been good all season. I honestly didn't expect to get where I was because, well, we all saw how Saudi went. DNF'd in the first race, and then the second race came home P8 after really just struggling adapting to the game. But no, this round and the last round have been really good for me. So fingers crossed I can build on it for whenever we come back for winter.
Are we expecting to see you for many races in the winter then?
Oh, fully, 100%. The exact same with the AC series that we're running as well. My love of sim racing has kind of just been reignited, and I'll be back home anyway, so some free time as I won't be a university student anymore. Yeah, it should be some good fun.
Well, we look forward to seeing you here again, and congratulations on the P3 today, and best of luck in the future.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the stream, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't ask if you had any questions.
Oh, no, it's no problem. I don't think I had anything to ask anyway.
No worries then. Who is going to be next? Is it...
That'll be Alex.
Yeah, Alex. Hello, Alex, and welcome into the interview room. How was that race?
Thank you. I'd say it was gone very bad to very good. Yeah, it's just one of those things where Josh did it as well. We just got a 3 second for a stupid reason. And then, unfortunately, it's the one time I perfect strategy and win the race. But it's still my best finish, so I'm really, really happy with that. And went on bet on the championship.
Yeah, so it was quite close going into this final race. Did you have high hopes of winning the championship there? Or were you just seeing what will happen and trying to enjoy the last race of the season?
The second one, absolutely no hopes of winning, because I needed the fast lap, and to be honest, I didn't have faith in my pace. But still, really happy with the result.
Newt, do you have any questions?
Yeah, it looked like your pace picked up a lot more in the rain. Were you running a rain focused setup, or was that just you naturally?
No, it was just my natural setup, but I kind of knew there was going to be rain, so I dropped it going into the last stop. But on the last stop, I actually meant to go onto softs because I thought I had to use a different dry tyre for the rules. So it put me on inters just by the game helping me out, which is quite nice.
That saved a massive disaster there, I think.
Yeah, it would have been absolutely catastrophic looking at what Josh did.
And yeah, one final question then. Are we expecting to see you again next season?
Absolutely.
Well, I think that just about wraps it up then. Congratulations on your P2 in the race. And I forgot what position. P3 in the championship?
Indeed, yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming to talk to us.
Thank you.
Okay, and that leaves us with just one person. The race winner, the championship winner. It is Ben. Hello and welcome into the interview room. How does it feel to win the race and to win the championship?
It feels good. I'm just pleased I could get the job done, and obviously doing it with a win is really nice. I think from my side, I didn't execute it as cleanly as I would have liked to, but nonetheless, it still feels good to win and get my third one of the season.
And yeah, how was that race for you?
Really, the first stint was all about being patient, staying behind Josh. I knew he had a lot lower downforce, so it was about keeping with him through the middle sector, and then staying within his DRS. And then I went for quite a large undercut and gained 7 or 8 seconds, which was quickly wiped away when he went onto the mediums. But then we were all unsure about when the rain was going to come, if it was going to come. But it was basically a decision of when do we go into the inters, which we probably Josh and I got wrong, and I think Alex probably got that one right. He aced the strategy, but still did enough to stay within his penalty window.
And do you have any questions?
Yeah. What was your reaction seeing Josh try to stay out on the hard tires at the end, because it looked very wet out there? Were you expecting him to make it to the end in front of you, or did you know that you were going to catch him?
At first, when we first went onto the Inters, we were gaining a second or two a lap, but then it got a little bit wetter and it started to gain 3-4 seconds, and I knew he had the penalty. So when I got to about lap 34, I thought, okay, I can do this, and then he went off, so that sort of cemented it.
And yeah, one final question: are we expecting to see you back next season?
I think I have to try and defend it now that I've entered. Hopefully, Tom is there so he can actually give it a shot and not miss any races. And obviously, Josh and the other guys. Been a good season, some good races.
Absolutely.
And, yeah.
Well, congratulations on the win today, and best of luck in the future.
Thank you, and thank you for streaming the races this season. It's been great to watch them back.
Thank you.
And yeah, thank you guys.
All right. So that wraps up the Summer Championship here for F1 25. Do you have any final thoughts, Newt?
It's definitely been interesting going on to the new game and seeing everyone try to adapt to it as quickly as possible. I'm hoping that next season is going to be as close as it was this season, but obviously people naturally get better at the game. So hopefully the midfield can catch up to the front runners with people like Josh, Ben, and those types of drivers. And yeah, I'm just hoping that it's as close as this season, because it was nice seeing someone else win a race and not just Cam Winsell winning every race.
Yeah, well, from what I understand, the future holds many new race winners for us, especially on, as you said, a new game. People will just get better. So hopefully we'll see some fantastic races coming up in the future. But in the meanwhile, that is the end for today. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It would really help us all out. And if you want to become part of the BUSR and join any races, then go to busr.gg/Discord to join our Discord server, join our lovely community here, and yeah, join some races. Let's go racing. Thank you for watching. Good night.
And no moment in history where I could stand and say, British begins here, now.